Hi guys, I'm Charlie, the Charlie Book Fanatic. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm going to talk to you about my February TBR. Last month I forgot to pick a challenge from the All About You challenge. I will link that down below. There's an All About You Part 2 challenge which I'm going to do this year, but I'm obviously going to start a month late. So I'm going to do the challenge from the first month, just this month, and then just work my way towards January and do the last challenge in January. The challenge for this month is to actually spell out a nickname you have. My nickname is actually Charlie because my real name is something different entirely. But Charlie is a nickname people gave me, so I'm going to spell out Charlie with the books I picked this month and also add on some other extra books I really want to read. The book I picked for the C is Crystal Storm, which is the 5th book in the Fallen Kingdom series by Rhodes. And I don't like the series, as you all know, but this was the only book on my TBR that had a C in it, and I still want to continue on with this series because I'm so far in and I need to know what happens. The Fallen Kingdom series follows a whole different cast of characters, follows these 3 kingdoms, and all the characters come from different kingdoms. And the series has progressed so much, kingdoms have fallen, things have happened, wars ensued, like that kind of thing, so I can't really tell you much about the 5th book, obviously. But yeah, I am continuing on with the series this month, if I'm lucky, because I picked a lot of books and I don't think I'll have the time to get to all of them. So this one will probably not happen this month, but it is on my TBR nonetheless. For the H, I picked a book I am very excited about, and that is He Forgot to Say Goodbye by Benjamin Alire Sáenz. This is one of Sáenz's earlier works. Sáenz is one of my favorite authors of all time. I love this Aristotle and Dante, Last Night I Sang to the Monsters, Sammy and Juliana in Hollywood, The Inexplicable Logic of My Life, and now I am finally getting to one of his older works, and I'm so excited for this one as well, because I'm finally getting to read a new book by my favorite author. This book follows 2 male characters who come from different sides, I guess. One is poor and Mexican, and one is white and privileged. And the book follows both of their worlds colliding and then figuring out that they have things in common, like a father that has abandoned them. For this challenge I also have some books that I have on my wish list from the library, and the first one of that is Anna and the Swallow Man by Gavriel Savit. This takes place in Krakow in 1939 during the First World War, obviously in Poland. Our main character's father gets taken by the Nazis, and then our main character Anna meets this mysterious man called the Swallow Man, who can make everyone see him the way he wants them to see him. Anna joins the Swallow Man on his travels, and this book is their story. This is historical fiction and it sounds super interesting. I actually want to read you a little part of the synopsis because I think that sounds so interesting, and that is: over the course of their travels together, Anna and the Swallow Man will dodge bombs, tame soldiers, and even, despite their better judgment, make a friend. But in a world gone mad, everything can prove dangerous. Even the Swallow Man. For the art, I have picked Release by Ness, which is a standalone YA contemporary. And this book describes one day in the life of our 17-year-old main character. The synopsis is very vague, but as it describes, it's a day of confrontation, running, sex, love, heartbreak, and maybe, just maybe, hope. The L in Charlie is for The Lying Game by Ruth, Ware, which is a standalone adult thriller. It's about a woman that discovers something sinister in a lake, and next morning 3 other women receive from, I assume, the first woman, a text that says, "I need you." The title of the book, The Lying Game, describes the game that these 4 girls used to play when they were still in boarding school. And what it entails is that each of these girls told a lie, whether serious or not serious at all, but the one rule of the game was they would not lie to each other, ever. But one of the lies had consequences and they all got expelled in their final year, surrounding the death of the school's art teacher. The synopsis doesn't say anything else. That is everything I know from it. That's everything I need to know from it. I read another one of Ruth Ware's books, which was The Woman in Cabin 10, which I thought was pretty interesting but got pretty ridiculous near the end of the book. But I am excited to see something else she's written because I did like The Woman in Cabin 10 enough to pick up something else by her. So yeah, The Lying Game. The next book I definitely want to read for the I is Invictus by Graudin. I actually know I'm getting this book from my boyfriend, so I will be reading this during the end of the month somewhere if I get to it, but Invictus is one of Graudin's newest releases. I've read the Wolf by Wolf duology by Graudin, The Walled City. I love her writing style and I love her story ideas. Invictus is actually a time traveling book, and if you know my channel a little, you know I do not like time traveling in TV shows, in books, nowhere. But because Graudin wrote this book, I am interested in checking it out and I'm going to give it a try, and I hope I will like it. I will read you the synopsis. Far away Gaius McCarthy was born outside of time, the son of a time-traveling recorder from 2354 AD and a gladiator living in Rome in 95 AD. Far's birth defies the laws of nature. Exploring history himself is all he's ever wanted, and after failing his final time-traveling exam, Far takes a position commanding a ship with a crew of his friends as part of a black market operation to steal valuables from the past. But during a heist on the sinking Titanic, Far meets a mysterious girl who always seems to be one step ahead of him. armed with knowledge that will bring Far's very existence into question. She will lead Far and his team on a race through time to discover a frightening truth. History is not as steady as it seems. Especially the Titanic reference in this sounds really interesting, and I cannot wait to see, because gladiators, Roman Empire, the Titanic, it sounds so diverse in situations and locations and times that I'm just excited. I'm just curious as to whether I'm going to like this or not. And for the E in Charlie, I actually picked nothing because I had nothing on my TBR or on my wishlist for the library that had an E in it. So when I get to this, I will go to the library and pick a book with an E in it there. But I don't think I will get to this. So for now, I don't have anything for the E in Charlie. I do have another book on my TBR, which is actually a new release that's coming out in March, which I want to read in February because I got an e-arc of it, and that is More Than We Can Tell by Brigid Kemmerer. I read Letters to a Lost by Brigid Kemmerer, and I liked it more than enough to request an e-arc of her newest release. More Than We Can Tell actually takes place in the same world as Letters to a Lost, but it is a completely standalone novel, so you can just read this one and not miss anything or get spoiled for Letters to a Lost. It's about this guy that has been adopted, but then suddenly gets a letter from his biological abusive father. And then there's also this girl who is a computer nerd and is actually creating her own computer game. Her parents' marriage is falling apart, but she loses herself in creating her own game and basically creating her own world. But when an online troll's harassment escalates, she's actually afraid. These two characters meet and they lift each other's burdens. The synopsis is very vague after that. It says something dangerous will happen and their trust will be tested, but yeah, I am excited about this. I actually like the computer game aspect with the main character because I'm quite a huge geek myself, so I really like that aspect, and I really like when a girl is all sciencey, knows her stuff, you know, that kind of thing. So yeah, I am going to give this a try, and I hope I will like it more than Letters to a Lost, because I like that one, but it wasn't an amazing read for me or anything. So this is my February TBR. Let me know down below if you've read any of these books and what you think about them. I would love to know. Thanks for watching. Goodbye!